Hi guys, when we talk about good tasting whiskies, many whiskies come to mind, but these are, as per me, very tasty whiskies. Number one whiskey, probably the tastiest whiskey for its price range and for overall mileage, I would say Monkey Shoulder. I don't have a bottle with me right now to show to you, but in my opinion, Monkey Shoulder seems to have that amazing, warm, pleasing, inviting, rich with apple, orchard fruit, very nice caramelic. I'm so used to its flavor that I can literally tell you what it tastes like, you know, and it's a very nice, sweet, mellow, good tasting whiskey. In fact, if you make people have Monkey Shoulder, I think everybody will love it. So if you are going to have a party and you're wondering what whiskey you should foray into, definitely consider the Monkey Shoulder. I think it's a very, very underrated whiskey. Now I'm going to show you a whiskey which is not very accessible because it is quite difficult to find and it's very expensive. And I think this is also a very beautiful whiskey. This is Glenfiddich 21. The good thing about the Glenfiddich 21 is that it will please multitude of palates because it seems to have a very nice aroma. It also seems to have a very good lingering taste. This is made 8 months. It is finished the last 8 months of its maturation is done in a rum cask, and before that I think it's in a sherry oak casks, if I'm not mistaken. So the uniqueness which you have in the characteristics of most rums, Caribbean rums, you have that same uniqueness with this Scotch whiskey. Glenfiddich 21, 43%. This is absolutely tasty. Now, since I've mentioned two whiskies which were a blended malt and a single malt, I'm going to mention an Indian whiskey as a local whiskey, which is an Indian manufactured foreign liquor, and that is Teacher's Highland Cream. I think this is beautiful. You can get this for 1870 rupees, and I think for that price, this is a steal. It's so tasty. It's so tasty. Beautiful taste, very authentic, very pleasing for the palate. If you have the original Highland Cream, you won't find those same notes, but in this you will definitely find them. So I strongly recommend this whiskey. Another whiskey which is a slightly older brother to Teacher's is Teacher's 50. It's a half grain, half malt whiskey. I think it has more nuances of grain whiskey. However, it is not cheap. When we think of grain whiskeys, we can often be misled to believing that, you know what, grain whiskeys aren't all that, because you have a bunch of grain whiskeys which don't taste good, like the Signature line. I don't personally like them. Teacher's 50, on the other hand, I mean, it's more robust in nature. It seems to have more mileage, more potence, you know, more infringement of the base of whatever you consider as good whiskey. Teacher's 50 will really, really help, you know. I have is a blended, Japanese blended whiskey, which is very tasty. As you can see, I finished this much of it. It has 43% ABV, nice, neutral, nuanced notes. Very pleasing whiskey. I think if you don't have the money to buy a Glenfiddich 21, which costs about 30,000 rupees in Delhi, and if you don't want to spend money on buying, let's say, the Monkey Shoulder, you can try the Toki. The Toki is very, very good. It means time. I think Toki means time, and this is made very well. Very good looking bottle. So when you're having it, you look at the bottle and you also get a very good feel about the things. Sorry, some idiot just disturbed me. Toki is a great whiskey. It is, like I was saying, very aspirational, very nuanced, very good overall. I think if you make a single malt snob have the Toki, he might appreciate it. If you make a girl have this whiskey, she will appreciate it. In fact, last night, my dear wife, she did not like this as much as she liked the Toki. So Toki is a great, great whiskey, which you should have in your arsenal. The next whiskey I want to show you, just a moment, please. Got some more bottles in front of me, and let's talk about them one by one. This is the Black Label. Okay, this is everybody's favorite whiskey. Very beautiful fruity notes. It also has a very good lingering on the palate, despite being a blended Scotch. I think you can't go wrong with the taste of a Black Label. I think it is unique. It is something to behold, and probably if you talk about value, probably the best value on this table right now. 3,400 rupees. You find this in Delhi, and Gurgaon 2,200 bucks. Next, I want to talk about, I was going to say Glenfiddich, because this looks like a Glenfiddich bottle, right? Look, this is how the Glenfiddich bottle looks, and this is how the Grant's bottle looks So this I got for about 1500 bucks or 1000 rupees from Gurgaon. This is beautiful tasting, and I dare say Gurgaon Grants is genuine. It is not as good to taste as, let's say, the Delhi variant, but Grants Triple Wood is beautiful, tasty, sweet, elegant, sexy, comprehensive. It's beautiful. Another whiskey I want to mention by the house of Johnnie Walker is the Green Label, very tasty. And of course, the Johnnie Walker Blonde. I think Johnnie Walker makes very good tasting whiskies. An interesting tasty whiskey would be a Glenfiddich 15. You know, I think Glenfiddich 15 is has a sherry. It has a very good front, but the sherry can take a bit of getting used to. But like I've always said, if you have 3 or 4 of these drinks, I don't think you're gonna miss anything. You know, you're gonna be absolutely fine. What I'm trying to say is that if you have 3 of these, you will not be able to change your whiskey. So Glenfiddich 15, I again think is very tasty. Probably a very tasty whiskey which I haven't showed in this review so far is a Glenmorangie. Glenmorangie, its bottle is somewhere here. Glenmorangie is very tasty. I think probably the best tasting whiskey. Another whiskey I want to mention and give an honorable mention to is Amrut Fusion. If you get a good bottle, you will love that. Out of the other Indian whiskies or Indian manufactured whiskies, if you're wondering why I'm not talking about whiskies which are less than 2,000 bucks, you can get the Johnnie Walker Red Label. I got Balvenie, but Balvenie is one of the worst tasting whiskies. I just wanted to say that for people watching this is a bonus for you. Balvenie 12 is probably one of the worst tasting whiskies. It tastes like mothballs, like you are in the attic. It has this very weird peppery stay. Let me just take a sip for you, okay? For you guys, you know. Okay. I really like the front of Balvenie. My problem with the Balvenie is on the back. The orchard fruit and the peppery note which hits you with the Balvenie is very good. But the lingering taste on the palate is that of sherry. And I like whiskeys which mix well with water. I'm a watery guy. What are you going to do? And this is not one of those whiskeys with water. This becomes very peppery, almost spittingly pepper, black pepper, mothballs. I don't really appreciate that. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned a thing or two. I'll see you guys when I do. Peace out. Okay, bonus whiskey for those who are still watching. Let me name a bonus whiskey which I think is very tasty. The Double Black by Johnnie Walker, man. That is a very effing tasty whiskey. Of course, the Chivas Regal we could have also mentioned, but we did not. So this is the 18. I'm talking about the 12. Very tasty, you know. And of course, Double Black, very, 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 very tasty. These whiskeys, if I just had to pick one which I think is tasty, Red Label I've already mentioned. Duos 15 I have not yet tried. Red Label is very good. Duos 12 is okay. It's pretty tasty, but it's been a while, so I'm not going to mention it. Duos 8. This is a beautiful, beautiful find. You should definitely check it out. Duos 8 is very good. Glenmorangie, like I was talking about, is amazing. We have some other whiskies which I find very tasty. Bushmills is okay, not particularly tasty. Ardbeg 5 is very tasty. And Ardbeg, this is an Ardbeg 10 bottle. This is also very tasty. Black and White, I forgot to mention, is pretty good. Macallan Gold, man, this is one of the tastiest whiskeys ever, 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 ever. Absolutely love this. So I think you've got a fair idea of which whiskeys you should buy now. Yeah. I'm not going to name any other whiskey for now, but Duos White Label is a beauty. It's a beast. Do get that. Thank you for watching.